So I've got a couple icebreaker questions for you first.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, if you were an animal, what would you be and why?
Monkey for sure. I've always felt like a monkey. I feel like as far as people ask me like what kind of animal, uh it's funny that you asked that because I feel like that's not the first time I've been asked about animals, but I love monkeys. I always have. They're my favorite animal. So yeah, definitely monkey.
Okay. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
I wish I did. I wish I did because I feel like I love karaoke and I've never really had like a song that I wanted to do. So I usually am the one that like watches other people do karaoke.
Yeah.
Um, hmm, I don't know. Maybe if I were to pick one, I'd probably say some Sade. Anything by Sade.
Okay. So what is your musical background like? Were you in any bands prior to Until I Wake?
Yeah, for sure. So it started around maybe age 13 or 14. I started kind of recording like some metal covers of like Devil Wears Prada, of Mice and Men. And one of my buddies and me had a garage band in like middle school, high school, and his name was Clint. And he had been picked up by Until I Wake's current bassist, Ryan, to join a band called The Breath Alive. And I was so happy for my friend Clint. He got to go and play shows and stuff at like these bars. And then
Yeah.
one day, Clint had a call with me and asked me to join A Breath Alive. And so that's how I met Ryan, the bassist
Mhm.
of Until I Wake. About 10 years ago, I was maybe like 15 years old. And the band was called A Breath Alive. You can check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
We played like Mayhem Festival. So we were doing some really big stuff and I was only like 15 or 16 years old. And then the band was around for about a year. And then after the band kind of split up, I've been doing my own solo hip hop music, pop music. Just I kind of experiment with all different genres. Like I really love screaming and I love singing, but I also have a really strong appreciation for like hip hop and
Yeah.
old R&B and jazz music and these like soul era artists because that's kind of what I grew up listening to when I was a kid was like a
Yeah.
lot of soul music with my grandma and heavy music with my mom. So kind of takes you to the last year of my life, which is when Ryan gave me a call. I
Yeah.
was, doing my hip hop thing, and then all of a sudden I'm on tour with Imminence, and they asked me to join the band, and we got the chance to write this record, which has come out so incredible. I'm so proud of it. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at today.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to hear the album. The title track is amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's one of my favorite songs that I feel like we've written as a band. It's
Yeah.
kind of the one that I want people to resonate with the most. It's the
Yeah.
meaning of the album. So,
Okay. So can you talk about the creative process behind the album? If
yeah,
there's
for
any
sure.
themes or messages?
Yeah. So, as far as the creative process, we were blessed with the opportunity to go work with Landon from the Plot and You, the label basically scheduled us a month with Landon out in Michigan. So we would kind of bounce back and forth between our Airbnb and Landon's bedroom. And, after a month of just kind of working together as artists, we kind of were able to come up with some sort of flow, maybe around like week two. And then by week three, we had almost 75% of the album done. So we had almost like around a week and a half to get like four or five more songs done.
Mhm.
So it was definitely like a lot of pressure, but I think I say this all the time, pressure makes diamonds. And we're some talented individuals and we really wanted to write an album that there was like no skips. So we
Yeah.
felt really pressured to kind of only give the best that we could. Like we had a few songs that we didn't use, a few instrumentals that we didn't use just because we knew right off the bat, like, yo, this isn't really touching the last song that we wrote or the one before it. Like we want to stay on that wave or get even better. And it's like we just really made sure we did that. And yeah, by about week five, we had the whole album done. Landon is a pleasure to work with. Any artists out there that are thinking about working with him, he's worth it. He helped me grow as like a songwriter, as a lyricist, as a singer. So yeah, definitely shout out to Landon for that. Shout
Yeah.
out to Nico and August for writing a ton of these instrumentals. Nico would be in his bedroom just cooking. August would be in the kitchen cooking up at this kitchen table studio setup. Me and Ryan would be writing lyrics. So yeah, shout out all the guys too in the band. Like they put a ton of work into this project as well.
Okay. So how does it feel to join such a well-established band? Was it
Oh,
like
it feels like a blessing.
intimidating or anything, or just,
What did you say?
was it like intimidating?
Um, I mean, I feel like it might sound like a little bit like different or foreign, but no, like it felt like very comfortable. Like it felt like everything was where it was supposed to be with the timeline of my life. I had been making
Yeah.
music for, almost a little over a decade at least, like on paper, playing shows. And it's like for a decade of work to finally be like, all right, like, we're going on tour now. I you know, I do have a 4-year-old son, so it was kind of like it's a gamble, like knowing how it's going to work, like having a son and going on tour. So I
Yeah.
gave it a shot, and I mean, everything felt really comfortable. Everything was good, and yeah, no, it's a blessing to be able to have the opportunity to travel the world with your friends and do what you really feel like your passions are. I know a lot of people out there have passions, but they're not following those passions. They're working at a job that they don't like, or maybe they're in school for something that their parents wanted them to do, whatever's going to pay the bills. Whereas, like, to be able to say, like, yo, I grew up in my basement listening to music and being in a garage band making music. And now I get paid to go across the world and play music. Like, that is something that I never take for granted. And every night I go to sleep, I thank God for the opportunity that I do have to be in this position.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. So what was the crowd reaction like at the shows? How did that go?
The crowd is sick. The
Yeah.
crowd is the best. The best part of like this whole experience is these people, the
Yeah.
people that we get to meet, the people that support us, the impact that we leave on them. The crowds have been amazing, and I am like, I that's another thing. I'm just so blessed. Like, not only do we get to make this music and we get to play it and we get paid for that, but we also get all of these like a family. Like when you go to a show in another state and you think you might not see this person again, it's like no, like these are people that we see regularly. They will travel from their state to another state to come see us. We have a fan, her name's Holly. This girl has come with her family, her mom and her dad, to at least like 10 shows in the last year. They'll travel 6 hours, like 8 hours. Like they've been all over the place. And to meet these people at these shows, even if it is just for a night, like
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's my like single-handed favorite part about being able to be in this band is like to meet all these people and share stories with them and kind
Yeah.
of leave an impact.
Okay. How old is your son?
He's 4. He'll be
He's
5 on
4.
Valentine's
Oh, you
Day.
said that. I'm sorry.
No
Yeah.
worries.
So one day you'll be able to show him, videos and stuff from the shows and be
He
like,
already knows.
maybe I wasn't there, but
He's been in my arms at shows. Like when I was
really.
yeah, there's a local hip hop festival in Buffalo called Music is Art, and he's been to 2 of those with me to where we were like on stage together. I'm holding him and I'm rapping my songs. Like he's been exposed to this life from the
Yeah.
day he was born to now. So he's yet to see the band perform. We're playing in Buffalo at the end of the year. This December 28th, the end of the world show. And I'm gonna try and bring him out to that show.
Yeah. Let him see dad's a big deal. Um, so Until I Wake has kind of ushered in a new, heavier era. Do you feel like part of that is your influences that you're bringing to the table?
You think it
Yes.
the like oh based on like Reverence?
Yeah.
I would say Reverence is the heaviest song on the album. I wouldn't want
Okay.
people to think that we're going completely like death metal, but
Right.
it was more or less just kind of like a funny like hey, like I don't want to keep people thinking that this is the same kind of music we're going to come out with. So when we were coming out with our release schedule, I was like, yo, we need to take the heaviest song and one of our lightest songs, which is Renovate,
Yeah.
and Wholehearted, which is a combination of the two. Messenger has singing, screaming, but it also has this rap verse. I'm trying to like every single like make these people kind of like, and it's funny because I see it every day. Like people are like, "This isn't the Until I Wake I know," and I'm like, "Yeah, wait
Yeah.
till the next single. You're gonna think that again." Like, until
Right.
you listen to the whole album and you see, yo, there's influences of Until I Wake, like literally the whole project is Until I Wake. It's just kind of this evolved, more mature, more like kind of grown version, I feel like. And I don't want to say like mature as if the last stuff wasn't there either, because that last album was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like having to follow that up was hard in itself. But I feel like we all did a really good job of just not only sticking to the roots of what Until I Wake is,
Mhm.
but being able to push the margin a little bit more with some of our own personal influences, myself included, with like the
Yeah.
hip hop song we just dropped.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a favorite song or set of lyrics from the album coming?
I would say my favorite song would probably be Separate.
Yeah.
That song is the second, no, it's Catacombs, Wholehearted. Separate is the third song. And it's the first song that we recorded with Landon. When we went out there originally, we were sent out
Mhm.
there for 2 days, and it was like, this is a test run. We made Separate. And that song, I don't know if it's because it's the first song we made together, but
Yeah.
it just has a special place in my heart. And it's like, I think the chorus is phenomenal. I like the kind of the background and the singing from the main vocals on the chorus, but I'm trying to think of a favorite set of lyrics. Hmm. Mhm. There's a lot of good lyrics in the album. Mhm. I would say in Eclipse, funny story that I haven't really told in any of these interviews I've done this week, but the song Eclipse, because that's where the favorite set of lyrics would probably come from. Um, Eclipse is, I think it's the eighth song on the album, maybe the ninth, and it was written during the eclipse this year. Like when we were at Landon's house,
Mhm.
we were recording the song, and the eclipse was happening while we were in the studio recording the song Eclipse.
Yeah.
Like this song is a special song in and of itself, but the song is all about it's a transition of the main character throughout the album, because the album's somewhat of like a story. And the song is basically about like seeing the beauty in like your suffering, like hidden behind this moon is this sun, hidden behind this like darkness is light. And this the breakdown, it says oh, slivering behind the silhouette, the infinite casts its avidity. No more will I live inside the shadow casting over me. And it's just kind of like the idea of like, oh, like finally seeing that life isn't so bad. I'm finally seeing the beauty in a lot of my suffering and the lessons that I learned throughout going through them. And it's like, wow, like it's not so bad. And I don't know, that's
Yeah.
it. It's just kind of the feeling that I felt when I was writing that. So those are some of my favorite lyrics.
It's beautiful. Yeah,
Thanks.
I like that.
It's even
Um,
better when it's screamed
I
because it's not
bet.
a singing part, it's a screaming part. It's ready to break down.
Yeah. Do you have a particularly memorable performance you've done so far? Anything that kind of stands out?
I would say probably Czech Republic, or maybe on this last tour with Rain City Drive. Not even that it's the most like recent tour either. The show at the Rain City Drive tour was at the Palladium in
Mhm.
Massachusetts, and we played there with Imminence for like 1,300 people in the main room, if not like more probably. And then we played the smaller room, and they probably oversold it by like 50 tickets. So there was like 500 people crammed in this little room. And that show specifically was unbelievable because people were climbing onto the stage like by the twos, like more people than the security can catch. And they're just turning around and jumping back and crowd surfing like all the way to the back of the venue. And it was just, it felt like a really intimate punk show. And I
Yeah.
love like intimacy at concerts. So
Yeah.
I would say that's probably one of my most memorable at the moment.
That's cool. How do you stay creatively mo inspired and motivated?
I would say by like taking risks and living your life as if every day was your last. You got to ask yourself, like, every day you wake up. And it don't mean like, oh, just if you knew you were gonna die today, why go to work? Like quit your job. Like, no. I just mean like as far as like if this was your last day, as what you have to do today, go to work. Well, work as hard as you can today. Smile at the people you see walking down the street. Like, take a risk to go here when I don't know, maybe you've never been there before.
Mhm.
Just taking risks, I feel like, is a huge way to open your mind up to like the beauty of life. You see things you haven't saw before, breeds creation, breeds inspiration.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just getting out of your house and going and living life. I would say that is important. Whenever I'm feeling a little stagnant, I'll go on like a hike. I go to this place called the Eternal Flame. Anyone that ever comes to Buffalo, go to the Eternal Flame. It's a hike down to a flame that is underneath a waterfall. It's like natural gases that leak out of the rock. And it's
Oh,
like just doing stuff like that, going on a hike, going on a walk, meditating, anything like that, you'll find something.
okay. Are there any bands that you would recommend that people may not have heard of? Maybe local bands you've kind of worked with?
Yeah, for sure. I would say the first band that I will always try to put people onto is this band called Pine Grove. I
Mhm.
don't know like a lot of people that know Pine Grove, but they have like 5 albums. Like they're phenomenal live. Their music is really like I feel like it's deep. So I always recommend Pine Grove. As far as like locals go, I would shout out my boys in Verti. They're playing at the festival that we're playing at the end of the year. That's another one. Yeah, I would say just shout out to those boys too. That's probably the only thing I can think of right now.
Okay. What else are you passionate about besides music?
Making clothes.
Making clothes?
Just started my own screen printing company. I've been making
Oh,
hoodies and stuff. So I've been doing a little bit of everything. Kind of here, I'll show you the hoodies. Ready?
yeah.
I just printed this up today. So it's got
Oh,
that. It's
yeah.
got some like bats on the sleeve, some stuff on over here.
That's cool. I
Yeah, I'm
love
trying to
that.
do just a little bit of everything to see kind of what I'm capable of. That's
Yeah.
another thing. If you're like wondering if you can do something, just give it a try. That's how I
Yeah.
found out how to do like everything I know how to do is just looking it up on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. And then my last question, is there anything else that you'd like to share with your fans that maybe we didn't talk about yet?
Mm. I would say just how grateful I am. Thank you to everybody that's been listening to us and coming to our shows and reached out to me via like DM and told me like what my music or what anything we did has done for you. That stuff means the world to me and it means the world to the band. And that's the whole reason why we're here as artists and doing this is to connect with you guys on a deep level and kind of inspire something and make you guys feel like you can do what we're doing or whatever it is you want to do. So yeah, that's the only thing I can say to all our fans right now. And hey, don't forget to go stream the album. Don't forget to check out the album December 6th and
Definitely.
leave some feedback. Let us know what you think.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for
All right.
having me.
Take care.
Peace.